Despise me if I do not. 3 great ones of the city, in personal suit to make me his lieutenant, of cap to him. And by the faith of man I know my price. I am worth no worse a place. But he, as loving his own pride and purpose, evades them, with a bombast circumstance horribly stuffed with epithets of war. And in conclusion, none suits my meditors for certs, as he says. I already chose my officer. And what was he? Forsooth, a great arithmetician, one Michael Cassio, a Florentine, a fellow almost damned in a fair wife, that never set a squadron in a field, nor the division of a battle knows more than a spinster, unless the bookish theoric wherein the toes consoles can propose, as masterly as he. Mere prattle without practice is all his soldiership. But he, sir, had the election, and I, of whom his eyes had seen the proof at Rhodes, at Cyprus, and on other grounds, Christian and heathen, must be led and calmed by debtor and creditor. This countercaster, he, in good time, must his lieutenant be, and I, God bless the mark, his moorship's ancient.
By heaven, I'd rather have been a hangman.
Why? There is no remedy. 'Tis the curse of service. Preferment goes by letter and affection, not by gradation, where each second stood heir to the first. Now, sir, be judge yourself. Where I, in any just term, am affined to love the more.
I would not follow him then.
Oh, sir, content you. I follow him to serve my turn upon him. We cannot all be masters, nor all masters cannot be truly followed. You shall mark many duteous and knee-cricking knaves that doting on his own obsequious bondage wears out his time much like his master's ass, for naught but provender. When he is old, cashiered, whip me such honest knaves. Others there are who, trimmed in forms of visages of duty, yet keep their hearts attending on themselves and throwing but shows of service on their lords. Do well thrive by them, and when they have lined their coats, do themselves homage. These fellows have some soul, as one I do profess myself. For, sir, it is as sure as you are Rodrigo, were I, the Moor, would not be Iago. In following him I follow but myself. Heaven is my judge, not I for love and duty, but seeming so for my peculiar end. For when my outward action doth demonstrate the native act and figure of my heart in compliment extern, 'tis not long after but I will wear my heart upon my sleeve for draws to peck at. I am not what I am.
Valiant Othello, we must straight employ you against the enemy Ottoman. Brabantio, I did not see you. Welcome, gentle signor. We lacked your counsel and your help tonight.
So did I yours. Good your grace pardon me. Neither my place nor art I heard of business. Hath raised me from my bed, nor doth general care take hold of me, for my particular grief is of floodgate and breathing nature, that is ingluts and swallows other sorrows, and it's still itself.
Why, what's the matter?
My daughter, oh my daughter.
Dead?
Aye, to me. She's abused, stolen from me and corrupted by spells and medicines brought to mountebanks for nature of apostolate to being not deafened, blind, or lame of sense, sans witchcraft could not.
Who will he be that in his foul proceeding hath thus beguiled your daughter of herself, and you of her, the bloody book of law? You shall yourself read in the bitter letter, after your own sense, yea, though our proper son stood in your action.
Humbly I thank your grace. Here is the man, this Moor womb now it seems, your special mandate for the state affairs hath hither brought.
Othello, what in your part can you say to this?
Nothing, but this is so.
Most potent, grave, and reverend seniors, my very noble and proved good masters,
That I have ta'en away this old man's daughter, it is most true. True I have married her. The very head in front of my offending hath this extent no more. Rude am I in my speech, and little blessed with the soft phrase of peace. For since these arms of mine had 7 years' pith, till now some 9 moons wasted they have used their dearest action to the tented field. And little of the great world can I speak, more than pertains to feats of broil and battle. And therefore little shall I grace my cause in speaking for myself. Yet, by your gracious patience, I would round unvarnished tell deliver of my whole course of love, what drugs, what charms, what conjuration of what mighty magic. For such proceeding I am charged withal. I won his daughter.
A maiden never bold, of spirit, so still and quiet that her motion blushed to herself, and she is spite of nature, of years, of country credit, everything to fall in love, that what she feared look on. It's a judgment made, and most imperfect, that confesses perfection, so could against all rules of nature, and must be driven to find out practices of cunning hell. Why this should be, I therefore vouch again, that with some mixtures powerful of the blood, or with some dream conjured of this effect, he wrote upon her.
To vouch this is no proof, without more wider and more overt test, than these thin habits and poor likelihood of modern seeming do prefer against it.
But, Othello, speak. Did you, by indirect and forced courses, subdue and poison this young maid's affections? Or came it by request of such fair question as soul to soul affordeth?
I do beseech you, send for the lady to the Sadducee, and let her speak of me before her father. If you do find me foul in her report, the trusty office I do hold of you, not only take away, but let your sentence even fall upon my life.
Fetch Desdemona hither.
Ancient, conduct them. You best know the place. Until she come, as true as to heaven, I do confess the vices of my blood. So justly to the grave ears I'll present how I did thrive in this fair lady's love, and she is mine.
Say it, Othello.
Her father loved me, oft invited me, still questioned me the story of my life, from year to year the battles, the sieges, fortunes that I have passed. I ran it through, even from my boyish days to the very moment that he bade me tell it, wherein I spake of most disastrous chances, of moving accidents by flood and field, of hair deceit scrapeth the imminent death breach, of being taken by the insolent foe and sold to slavery, of my redemption thence, and portents in my travels history, wherein Andrus vast, the desert its isle, rough quarries, rocks, and hills whose heads touch heaven. It was my hint to speak, such was the process, and of the cannibals that each other eat, the anthropology and the men whose heads do grow beneath their shoulders. This to hear would Desdemona seriously incline. But still the house affairs would draw her thence, whichever she could have haste dispatch. She'd come again, and with a greedy ear devour up my discourse, which I observing, took once a plaint hour and found good means to draw from her a play of earnest heart, that I would all my pilgrimage dilate, whereof by parcel she had something heard, but not intentively. I did consent, and often did beguile of her tears, and when I did speak of some distressed stroke that my youth suffered, my story being done, she gave me pains for a word of sighs. She swore in faith 'twas strange, 'twas passing strange, 'twas pitiful, 'twas wondrous pitiful. She wished she had not heard it, yet she wished that the heaven had made her such a man. She thanked me and bade me, if I had a friend that loved her, I should but teach him how to tell my story, and that would woo her. Upon this hint I spake. She loved me for the dangers I had passed, and I loved her that she did pity them. The only in this witchcraft I have used, this is only the witchcraft I have used. Here comes the lady. Let her witness it.
I think this tale would win my daughter too. Good Brabantio, take up this mangled matter at the best. Men do their broken weapons rather use than their bare hands.
I pray you hear her speak. If she confesses that she was half of a warrior, and destruction on my head, if my bad blame light on my man, come hither, gentle mistress. Do your persive in all the noble company, where most of you owe obedience.
My noble father, I do perceive here a divided duty. To you I am bound for life and education. My life and education both to learn me. How to respect you. You are the Lord of duty. I am sister to your daughter, but he's my husband, and I am so much duty as my mother should. Preferring you before her father. So much I challenge that I may face. Still to the more, my lord.
God be with you. I have done. Please it your grace on your state affairs. I'd rather not adopt a child than get it come hither more. I here do give thee that all with my heart, which but thou hast already with all my heart. I would keep from thee. For your sake, jewel, I'm glad at a soul I have no other child. For my escape, would teach my tyranny and hang clogs on them. I have done, my lord.
Let me speak like yourself and lay a sentence which, as a grease or step, may help these lovers. When remedies are past, the grieves are ended, by seeing the worse which late on hopes depended. To mourn a mischief that is past and gone is the next way to draw new mischiefs on. What cannot be preserved from frozen fortune takes? Patience, her injury, her mockery makes. The robbery that smiles steals something from the thief. He robs himself that sells a bootless grief.
So let the Turk of Cyprus be beguiled. We lose it not. So long as we can smile, we bears the sentence, that nothing bears. But the free comfort which from thence he hears, but he bears both a sentence and the sorrow that they pray grief. Must the poor patients borrow these sentences of sugar or to gale, being strong on both sides of quail voice? But words are words. I never yet did hear that the bruised heart was pierced through the ear. I humbly bleached. You proceed in affairs of state.
The Turk with the most mighty preparation makes for Cyprus. Othello, the fortitude of this place is best known to you, and though we have there a substitute of most allow sufficiency, yet my opinion, a more sovereign mistress of effects, throws a more safer voice on you. You must therefore be content to slubber the gloss of your new fortunes with this more stubborn and boisterous expedition.
The tyrant custom of great senators hath made my flinty and still couch of war my thrice-driven bed of down. I do agonize a natural and promptly alacrity. I find it hardness, and I do undertake these present wars against the Ottomites. Most humbly, therefore, bending to your state, I crave fit disposition for my wife. Due reference of place and exhibition, with such accommodation besought as levels with her breeding.
Why, at her father's?
I'll not have it so.
Nor I.
Nor I would not let her reside, to put my father in impatient thoughts, by being in his eye, most gracious duke, to my unfolding lend your prosperous ear, and let me find a treasure in your voice, to assist my simplest.
What would you, Desdemona?
That I did love the more to live with them, my downright violence and storm of fortunes, my trumpets to the world, my heart subdued, even to the very quality of my lord. I saw Othello reset in his mind, and to his honor and his valiant parts did I my soul and fortune consecrate. So let, dear lords, if I be left behind, a mouth of peace, and he go to the world, the rates for which I love him are berate me, and I of heavy intermission support. By his dear absence, let me go with him.
Let her have your voices. Vouch of me, heaven, I therefore beg it not, to please the plate of my appetite, nor to comply with heat, the young effects in me defunct in proper satisfaction, but to be free and bounteous to her mind. And heaven defend your good souls that you think I will your serious and great business scant, for she is with me. No, when light wings toys of feathers, Cupid seal with wanton dullness, my speculative and officed instruments, that my disports corrupt and taint my business. Let housewives make skillet of my helm, and all the Engdom and base advertise. And all the Engdom and base advertise. Make head against my estimation.
Be it as you shall privately determine, either for her stay or going, thy affair cries haste, and speed must answer it.
With all my heart.
As 9 is morning, here we'll meet again. Othello leaves some office behind, and he shall our commission bring to you, and such things else of quality and respect as doth import you.
So please your grace, my ancient, a man he is of honest and trust. To his conveyance I assign my wife, with what else need for your grace? With what else need for your good grace shall I think to be sent after me?
Let it be so. Good night to everyone, Brabantio and my noble signor. If virtue no delighted beauty lack, your son-in-law is far more fair than black.
Adieu, brave Moor. Use Desdemona well.
Look at her more. If thou hast eyes to see, she has deserved her father, and may they.
My life upon her faith, honest Iago. My Desdemona must I leave to thee. I prithee, let thy wife attend on her, and bring them after in best advantage. Come on, Desdemona. Come, Desdemona. I have but an hour of love, of worldly matters and direction. To spend with thee, we must obey time.
Iago,
What sayest thou, noble heart?
Iago,
What sayest thou, noble heart?
what will I do, thinkest thou?
I go to bed and sleep.
I'll incontinently drown myself.
If thou dost, I shall never love thee after. Why, thou silly gentleman?
It's a silliness to live when to live is torment. And then have we a prescription to die, with death as our physician.
Oh, villainous! I have looked upon the world 4 times 7 years, and since I could distinguish betwixt a benefit and an injury, I've never found a man that knew how to love himself. Here I would say I would drown myself for the love of a guinea hen, would change my humanity with a baboon.
What should I do? I confess it in my shame to be so fond, but it's not in my virtue to amend it.
Virtue, a fig. 'Tis in ourselves that we are thus or thus. Our bodies are gardens, to which our wills are gardeners. So that if we plant nettles, or sow lettuce, or set hyssop, or weed up thyme, supply it with one gender of herbs, or distract it with many, either to have it sterile with idleness, or manured with industry. Why? The power of corrigible authority of this lies in our will. If the balance of our lives had not one scale of reason to poise another of sensuality, the blood and baseness of our natures would conduct us to most prosperous conclusions. But we have reason to call our raging motions, our carnal stings, our unbitted lusts, whereof I take this that you call love, to be sect or scorn.
It cannot be.
It is merely the lust of blood and the permission of the will. Come, be a man. Drown thyself. Drown cats and blind puppies. I have professed me thy my friend, and I confess me to knit thy deserving with cables of pre-durable toughness. I can never better steed thee than now. Put money in thy purse. Follow thou the wars, defeat thy favour with an usurped beard. I say, put money in thy purse. It cannot be Desdemona. Should she long continue her love for the Moor, put money in thy purse, nor his to her. It was a violent commencement, that thou shalt see an answerable sequestration. Put money in thy purse. The Moors are changeable in their wills. Fill thy purse with money. The food that to him now is as shall be to him shortly as bitter as Colo Quintilda. She must change for youth, and when she is sated with his body, she will find her error of her choice. She must have changed. She must. Therefore, put money in thy purse. If thou wilt need to damn thyself, do it in a more delicate way than drowning. Make all the money thou canst. If sanctimony and a feral vow betwixt an erring barbarian and a subtle Venetian should not too hard for my wits, and all the tribe of hell, thou shalt enjoy her. Therefore make money. A pox of drowning thyself. 'Tis clean out of the way. Seek thou rather be hanged by compassing thy joy than to be drowned and go without her.
Wilt thou be fast to my hopes if I depend on the issue?
Thou art sure of me. Go. Make money. I have told thee often, and I tell thee again and again and again. I hate them all. My cause is hearted. Thine have no less reason. Let's be conjunctive in our revenge against him. If thou can't cockhold him, thou dost thy pleasure thyself. Mere sport. There are many events in the womb of time which must be delivered. Traverse. Go, provide thy money. We will have more of this tomorrow. And you,
Where shall we meet in the morning?
at my lodging.
I'll be of deeper times.
Go to. Farewell. Do you hear, Rodrigo?
What say you?
No more of drowning. Do you hear?
I'm changed. I'll go sell all my land.
Thus do I ever make my fool my purse. For I my own gain knowledge should profane. If I could time expend with such a snipe, but for my sport and profit, I hate them all. And it is thought abroad that twixt my sheets he had done my office. I know not if it be true, but I, for mere suspicion in that kind, will do as if for surety. He holds me well, the better shall my purpose work on him. Cassio's a proper man. Let's see now, to gain his place and plume up my will in double knavery. How? How? Let's see. After some time to abuse a fellow's ear that he is too familiar with his wife. The other person and a smooth disposed to be suspected, framed to make women false. And more is of a free and open nature that thinks men honest that, but they seem to be so. And will tenderly be led by the nose as asses are. I have. It is engendered. Hell and night must bring this monstrous birth to the world's light.
My reputation
My reputation, Iago. I've gone and lost my entire reputation. The longest living, and I'd say truest part of myself. Everything else in me is just, I don't know, like animal-like. I'm such an idiot. I just made one mistake and it's cost me my reputation. I mean, I worked so hard to get into that team. I just made one mistake, Iago, and that has cost me everything. You know what? You all have every right to hate me, and I would never expect Othello to let such a drunken, silly fool onto the team. I just made one stupid mistake, and I got drunk. I was babbling senselessly, squabbling and swearing and bloody ranting to my own shadow at some point. Why do we go and party like animals? Because this is what happens. I don't even drink that much. What was I thinking, Iago?
My noble lord,
What dost thou say, Iago?
did Michael Cassio, when you wooed my lady, know of your love?
He did. From first to last, why dost thou ask?
But for satisfaction of my thought, no further harm.
Why of thy thought, Iago?
I did not think he had been acquainted with her.
Oh, yes, and went between us very oft.
Indeed.
Indeed. Aye, indeed. Discern'st thou aught in that? Is he not honest?
Honest, my lord.
Honest, aye, honest.
My lord, for aught I know.
What dost thou think?
Think, my lord.
Think, my lord, by heavens, he echoes me, as if there was some monster in his thought too hideous to be shown. Thou dost mean something. I heard thee say even now thou likest not that. When Cassio left my wife, what didst not like? And when I told thee he was of my counsel in my whole course of wooing, thou criest, indeed, and didst contract and purse thy brow together, as if thou hadst shut up in thy brain some horrible conceit. If thou dost love me, show me thy thought.
My lord, you know I love you.
I think thou dost. And for now thou art full of love and honesty, and weighest thy words before thou givest them breath. Therefore, these stops of thine fright me the more. For such things in a false disloyal knave are tricks of custom, but to the man that's just, they are the close delations working from the heart that passion cannot rule.
For Michael Cassio, I dare be sworn I think that he is honest.
I think so too.
Men should be what they seem, or those that be not, would they might seem none.
Certain, men should be what they seem.
Why? Then I think Cassio's an honest man.
Nay, yet there's more in this. I prithee speak to me as thy thinkings, as thou dost ruminate and give thy worst of thoughts the worst of words.
Good my lord, pardon me. Though I am bound to every act of duty, I am not bound to that all slaves are free to. Utter my thoughts. Why, say that they are vile and false, as wares at palace, whereinto foul things sometimes intrude not? Who has a breast so pure, but some uncleanly apparitions keep lets and law days and in sessions sit with the meditations lawful?
Thou dost conspire against thy friend, Iago. If thou but thinkest him wronged, and makest his ear a stranger to thy thoughts.
I do beseech you, though by perchance I am vicious in my guess, as I confess it is my nature's plague to spy into abuses, and oft my jealousy shapes faults that are not, that your wisdom yet from one that so imperfectly conceits would take notice, nor build yourself a trouble out of his scattering and unsure observance. It was not for your quiet, nor your good, nor your manhood, honesty, or wisdom, to let you know my thoughts.
What dost thou mean?
Good name in man and woman, dear my lord. It is immediate jewel of their souls, who steals my purse and steals trash. 'Tis something, nothing, 'twas mine, 'tis his, and he has been a slave to thousands. But he that filches from me my good name robs me that of which not enriches him, and makes me poor indeed.
By heaven, I'll know thy thoughts.
You cannot, if my heart were in your hands, nor shall not whilst 'tis in my custody.
Ha!
Oh, beware, my lord, of jealousy. It is the green-eyed monster which doth mock the meat it feeds on, and cuckolds lives in bliss, who, certain of his fate, loves not his wronger. But oh, what damned minutes tells he o'er, who dotes yet doubts, suspects yet strongly loves.
Oh, misery.
Poor is content, is rich, and rich enough, but rich is fineless, is as poor as winter. To him that ever fears he shall be poor. Good heaven, the souls of all my tribe defend from jealousy.
Why? Why is this? Thinkest thou I'll make a lie of jealousy? To follow still the changes of the moon with fresh suspicion? No, to be once in doubt is once to be resolved. Exchange me for a goat when I shall turn the business of my soul to such as supplicate and blown surmises. Matching thy inference, 'tis not to make thy jealous, to say my wife is fair, feeds well, loves company, is free of speech, sings, plays, and dances well. Where virtue is, these are more virtuous. Nor from mine own weak merit will I draw the smallest fear or doubt of her revolt. For she had eyes and chose me. No, Iago, I'll see before I doubt, and when I doubt, prove, and on the proof there is no more but this. Away at once with love or jealousy.
I am glad of it. For now, I shall have reason to show the love and duty that I bear you with franker spirit. Therefore, as I am bound, receive it from me. I speak not yet of proof. Look to your wife, observe her well with Cassio. Wear your eye thus, not jealous, not secure. I would not have your free and noble nature out of self-bounty be abused. Look to it. I know your country deposition well. In Venice they do let the heavens see the pranks they dare not show their husbands. Their best conscience is not to leave undone, but kept unknown.
Dost thou say so?
She did deceive her father marrying you. And when she seemed to shake and fear your looks, she loved them most.
And so she did.
Why, go to then. She that so young could give out such a seeming to seal her father's eyes up close as oak. He thought 'twas witchcraft. But I am much to blame. I humbly do beseech you of your pardon, for too much loving you.
I am bound to thee forever.
I see this hath little dashed your spirits.
Not a jot, not a jot.
I faith, I fear it has. I hope you will consider what is spoke comes from my love. But I do see you're moved. I am to pray you not to strain my speech to grosser issue nor to larger reach than my suspicion.
I will not.
Should you do so, my lord, my speech should fall into such vile success as my thoughts aim not at. Cassio's my worthy friend. My lord, I see you are moved.
No, not much moved. I do not think but Desdemona's honest.
Long live she so. And long live you to think so.
And yet, how nature erring from itself?
Aye, there's a point as to be bold with you, not to affect many proposed matches of our own clime, complexion and degree, whereto seen such things in nature's trends. Foe, one many smell in such a word rank and default a portion and natural, but pardon me if I do not poison distinctly speak of her, though I may fear her will. recoiling her battered, better judgment may fall into the match of her county forms and happily represent.
Well, farewell, farewell. If more thou dost perceive, let me know more. Set on thy wife to observe. Leave me, Iago.
My lord, I take my leave.
Lord, do I ever make my fool my bird? Hurrah, I am gain knowledge and fame. If I would time extend with such a snipe, but for my soul and profit, I hate them all.
Ha! Ha ha! False to me?
Why? How now, General? No more of that.
Avaunt, be gone. Thou hast set me on the rack. I swear 'tis better to be much abused than but to know little.
How now, my lord?
What sense had I of her strolls and hours of lust? I sought not, thought it not, harmed it not me. I slept the next night well, was free and merry. I found not Cassio's kisses on her lips. He that is robbed, not wanting what is stolen. Let him now know it, that he is not robbed at all.
I am sorry to hear this.
Had I been happy, if the general camp, pioneers and all, had tasted her sweet body, so I had nothing known. Oh, now and forever, farewell the tranquil mind, farewell content, farewell the plumbed troop and the big wars that make ambition virtue. Oh, farewell. Farewell the neighing steed and the shrill trump and the spirit-stirring drum, the ear-piercing fife, the royal banner, and all quality. Pride, pomp, and circumstance of glorious war, and oh, you mortal engines, whose rude throats and immortal jaws, dead clamorous counterfeit, farewell Othello's occupations gone!
Is it possible, my lord?
Villain, be sure thou prove my love a whore. Be sure of it! Give me the ocular proof! Or by worth of man's eternal soul, thou hast been better have been born a dog than answer my waked wrath.
Is it come to this?
Make me see it, or at least so prove it, that the probation bear no hinge nor loop, to hang a doubt on, or woe upon thy life.
My noble lord.
If thou dost slander her and torture me, never pray more. Abandon all remorse, or horror's head horrors accumulate. Do deeds to make heaven weep, all earth amaze, for nothing canst thou to damnation add greater than that.
Oh, grace, oh, heaven forgive me. Are you a man? Have you soul or sense? God be with you. Take mine office. O wretched fool that livest to make him thine honesty a vice, a monstrous world, take note, O world. To be direct and honest is not safe. I thank you for his profit, and from hence I'll love no friend, sith love breeds much offence.
Nay, stay. Thou shouldst be honest.
I should be wise, for honesty's a fool and loses that it works for.
By the word, I think my wife be honest, and I think she not. I think thou art just, and I think thou art not. I'll have some proof. Her name that was as fresh as Dion's visage is now begrimed, and black as my own face. If there were cords or knives, poison or fire or suffocating streams, I would not endure it. Would I were satisfied.
I see, sir, you were eaten up with passion. I do repent me that I put it to you. Would you be satisfied?
Would. Nay, I will.
And may, but how? How satisfied, my lord? Would you, the supervisor, grossly grape on... behold her topped?
Death and damnation. Oh!
It were a tedious difficulty, I think, to bring them to that prospect, and then, if ever mortal eyes do see them bolster more than their own. What then? How then? What shall I say? Where's satisfaction? 'Tis possible that you should see this. Where they as prime as goats, as hot as monkeys, as salt as wolves in pride, and fools as gross as ignorance made drunk. But yet, I say, if imputation and strong circumstances which lead directly to the door of truth will give you satisfaction, you may have it.
Give me a living reason she is disloyal.
I do not like the office. But sith I am entered in this cause so far pricked to by foolish honesty and love, I will go on. I lay with Cassio lately, and being troubled with a raging tooth I could not sleep. There are a kind of men so loose for soul that their sleeps will mutter their affairs. One of this kind is Cassio. In sleep I heard him say, "Sweet Desdemona, let us be wary, let us hide our loves." And then, sir, he would gripe and wring my hand, cry, "Oh sweet creature," and then kiss me hard, as if he plucked up kisses by the roots. Then he'd lay his hand on my leg over my thigh, and sighed and kissed and then cried, "Cursed fate that give me thee to the moor."
Oh, monstrous, monstrous!
Nay, this was but his dream.
But this is denoted a foregone conclusion. 'Tis a shrewd doubt, though it be but a dream.
And this may help to thicken other proofs that do demonstrate.
I'll tear her all to pieces.
Nay, but be wise. Yet we have seen nothing done. She may be honest yet. Tell me but this. Have you not sometimes seen a handkerchief spotted with strawberries in your wife's hand?
I gave her such a one. 'Twas my first gift.
I know that. But such a handkerchief, I am sure it was your wife's. I did today see Cassio wipe his beard with.
If it be that,
or any that was hers, it speaks against her with other proofs.
Oh, that the slave had 40,000 lives. One is too poor, too weak for my revenge. Now do I see 'tis true. Look here, Iago. All my fond love thus do I blow to heaven. 'Tis gone. Arise, black vengeance, from thy hollow cell. Yield up, O love, thy crown of haunted throne to tyrannous hate. Swell bosom with thy fraud, for 'tis of aspic's tons.
Yet be content. My friend is dead. 'Tis not done at your request, but let her live. I am your own forever.